my YouTube channel. In my today's video, I'm going to break down the situation right now in Canada, wherein everybody thinks that what is going on, is the immigration closed, there are all kind of hypothetical stories going on. But in a gist, I will help you understand and make it basically very simple for you to predict about this whole thing and have your own kind of, when you have the entire knowledge of the entirety of the situation, then you will be able to come to a conclusion of what is good for Canada and what is not good for Canada. So when I say that I'm going to explain the entirety of the situation, of course I'm not going to leave it just take things control and say that this is good for you, this is not good for you. I in fact always emphasize the importance of you being your own judge, that what is good for in your particular circumstances, if migrating to Canada is good for you, or if it's not good for you, or if there's some other better opportunity for you, or maybe everybody's in a different stage of life and nobody wants a blanket decision, like just what applies to me might not apply to you, and hence this is where I'm coming from. But I speak to so many people from across the globe who want to migrate to Canada, have aspirations, have dreams, have minimal budget. Sometimes budget is good, sometimes everything is there, sometimes they want to buy business, sometimes they have aspirations to become a student or worker. But I'm just going to give you a whole background of what is currently happening, which is not something which is very pleasant. But again, it is a temporary situation. No situation in life, in government policies is permanent. Everything keeps changing, right? So with that note, we start with the first thing of understanding the whole problem behind this current crisis that is happening in housing market. So what technically happened is that there has been a super influx of students as well as temporary foreign workers in Canada in 2023, due to which the housing market has gone for a toss. People are not able to afford it, like normal person working in Canada who's actually making those laws telling you, or somebody who's in general telling you about it. That is why the whole environment is such that the middle person, a 9-to-5 job person, or somebody who's just working, or even if somebody is an entrepreneur, etc., and has just started his life in Canada, is not able to have an affordable housing just because of the higher interest rates. Now, why higher interest rate is because of two reasons. One is the population growth, which is sudden. They say 430,000 people were admitted, temporary workers were admitted in Canada in the last quarter of 2023. So just imagine the kind of, which has never happened since 1957. So just imagine the kind of situation and the population growth Canada got suddenly. Now, population growth is, you would say, is very necessary for Canada because यहाँ पे aging population etc. and everybody keeps saying that Canada needs people. That's true, but Canada also does not have the right infrastructure developed to handle that kind of immigration. Hence, both the things, what the government etc. policies are not focusing on is that both the things should go periodically and both the things should go simultaneously, as well as both the things should be balanced. Now, this is one of the issues, that is the population growth. And the second reason is, of course, what happened in COVID. Now, Canada is a developed country which helped its PR citizens, people living inside Canada, to get that grant of COVID, which because you were not able to work in COVID, and like US, Canada also wanted to support its population, which it did. But what happened is that the fiscal deficit became a lot more, and the fiscal policies after COVID, that is in 2022 to 2023, they became so very different and so very unexpected that now it is the economy, the people, everybody is burdened because of those policies. So that fiscal policy is also one of the prime reasons of getting what Canada is. Now, what they say is that there was a meeting of all the CPS big shot bank heads, etc., Scotia Bank, RBC Bank in January 2024. And what they have predicted for 2024, the Canadian economy for 2024 is what I'm going to bifurcate for you. First thing they say is that the inflation is gonna now go down and it will remain stable till say 3.8%. For 2024 to 2025, which is pretty, I would say, which is not like exorbitant like the way it has been, but it will be controlled in 2024 and it will come to some kind of halt. Because of that, whatever the provinces, each province is doing will be impacted differently. For example, now I give you, they have predicted good future for Alberta and Saskatchewan. Why they have done that? Because these provinces are commodity driven provinces. They are not dependent on households. They are more dependent on import, export to other provinces, etc. Similarly, they say Manitoba is not going to be affected. Definitely, because Manitoba will be affected to the extent that Ontario, BC and Quebec are affected, because these are the three main working higher population working provinces. Everybody, even you might know that everybody wants to immigrate here. Now, in another example, the Atlantic provinces, they had a very good immigration, because a lot of immigration was directed in 2023 to the Atlantic provinces, which helped them, create the less deficit, the gap of labor, which helped them again be more productive. But because these small provinces are in the end dependent on big provinces, and hence they are the exports of these provinces are definitely affected, because the inflation hits more in the places where consumers are more, right? So that is why. What they also stated is that three main reasons, other reasons that can actually affect the Canadian economy are going to be the geopolitical conflicts, which of course, as it affects any other part of the world, it does affect Canada. How does it affect Canada? बहुत सारे refugees, the gateways are open to a lot of refugees, which again differs the kind of immigration level plan they initially planned for. For example, Ukraine, a lot of Ukrainians got refuge in Canada. Afghanistan, people from Afghanistan, they got refuge in Canada. Different now, Gaza and Israel. So there are multiple geopolitical conflicts which again affect the entire immigration level plans of Canada. And then of course the policies are not, the policies the way they should be are not that fast paced, changed and developed the way the geopolitical situation is affecting. Second is the point of this persistent inflation. Now, not everybody nobody likes to spend more than what they were spending 2 years back, 3 years. Food inflation is like going to be 4 to 5%. So all these things are the whole environment, I would say, is just talking and discussing about this. That is why there is a kind of a negative synergies around Canadian economy at this point of time. But also in the end, I'll tell you that how this is gonna overcome as well, because Canada is not gonna stop immigration. Canada will always need people, labor, etc. Canada will need entrepreneurs. Canada will need, because of this aging population, Canada needs youth. Of course, Canada has put some kind of cap on temporary residence, as I discussed in this video. The changes, and you can see it on my screen, the video, and watch it if you want to know the recent changes. But definitely, these factors do contribute to people talking about reverse migration. And let me also clarify here that there are only two reasons due to which people are reverse migrating. There are only two type of people, who are reverse migrating. One is who've already got the Canadian passport. It's समझ आती है उनका, understandable why they want to go, absolutely fine. You've taken the passport, you fulfilled the conditions, now it's your prerogative wherever you want to live. Even before that, it's your prerogative, but people think that we've already done 1 year, we've already entered 2 years as PR, and then they tend to stick and stay. And now it's also where they always say the grass is greener on the other side, but it's also greener on the side you water it. And if you're watering here in Canada, you think that some kind of startup is working for you, some kind of business is working for you, some kind of, any job is working for you, anything is working for you, because it's not that everybody is leaving Canada. It's only 1% or 2% of the population leaving, and they are leaving for their own mindset, their own reasons, which I do not deny. It sometimes is the pushing factor in your life. Second is the kind of people that are talking about reverse migration is the students, because of course it's becoming absolutely difficult to match the current CRS that is going on for students. There is no CEC draw. They do not see a future. There is no extension of PGWP. It's it's actually the saddest state of affairs is for the students, because the Canadian immigration at one point of time took so many students blanketly. So these are few of the factors of the kind of sector of people who are talking about reverse migration. In my opinion, again, I could be wrong. I am not this thing. I'm just talking about my own analysis of the whole situation, and it could differ from person to person. And please take this as a caveat that this is just my personal opinion and observation. Now let's come to the last part of what I'm going to discuss with you guys, is that in any country, economic slowdown is invariable. Like it has to happen. It cannot be there can be no country which does not go through an economic slowdown and then rises up back again. Canada again is a developed country. If you're somebody maybe who's trying to think about Canadian immigration, think it from a different angle. Don't think it right now. Think about 1 year, 2 years down the line. Nobody imagined it that Canada would have flourished like the way it did before COVID. So nobody imagined the kind of people, the kind of how people got opportunities because of increasing immigration level plans. It's in fact one of the easiest countries, I would say, to migrate when it comes to permanent residency. No other country is giving you in such short time such a smart and such a wanting passport, which is in high in ranking. It's of course no journey, no country is perfect. Everybody has what policy might work for you, might not work for me. So the whole government policies, everybody kahin pe bhi chalo jao, it's a debate only. Political debates is always ongoing. Don't stress your level. Don't stress yourself for that. That is not your agenda. You should be focused on what is your agenda. If your agenda is, for example, I have clients who have kids who want to study in universities. They are ready to pay $60,000 to $70,000 per year, and now if they hear that okay, they can become permanent residents and the fees for the students can go down 1/3 as domestic, they definitely go for the option of permanent residency, because it just makes more sense. Then that kind of nobody's bounding you, nobody's telling you कि आप सब कुछ छोड़ के सब कुछ बेच के आ जाओ. Nobody's gonna tell you that. It's different for your situation. If you think it with your individual circumstances, situation कि आपके लिए ये चीज काम कर रही है, then only pursue it. Otherwise, don't even waste your time, because it's such a vast subject. The more you dig into it, the more you will feel that it's not for me, it is for me, it's not for me. So the more you will be in limbo. I always say, have your goal straight. Be patient. Immigration is not something which is gonna happen overnight. Definitely be patient, but also be persistent. If you want to do it, then you can do it. If you want to migrate, you can migrate. If you want to find opportunity in a challenge, you will find. Even in this economic slowdown, I have known people who have actually incorporated tech into their businesses. They have used this time. They have made their businesses automated. They are traveling. So all this is just because Canada has made them this land. Even I travel, and I am able to travel because kind of automation I've done to my own business. So definitely, I would again say it depends on the kind of vision, persistence, the kind of motivation you have, what you are thinking. Maybe you are an entrepreneur, maybe you have a mindset which is different from the rest of the people who are talking. Don't just blanketly listen to anybody. Do your own research, read about it, analyze it, and then take your call.